Hi, everyone. I'm Kerry Cassidy from Project Camelot, and I'm here today with a very fascinating man, former military, if I understand it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The story you've got to tell is quite extraordinary. Okay. And I would like you to first give us a little bit about your background. So, your military ranks that you reached, for example, and what you primarily did in the military.
I am a retired E7, which is Master Sergeant. But at the time of the incident, I was E6, Tech Sergeant.
A tech sergeant.
Yes.
Okay. And you're not in the military at this time,
No.
but you had clearances, I assume.
Yes, I had top secret, SpeedCat, what we call TK and TG, Tango Kilo, Tango Gamma, and other accesses to different types of projects.
And how long ago was that this incident
It
happened?
was from August 1983 to 1984.
That's when this incident happened? Why don't you just tell us what happened and describe who you were with and the craft you were on at the time?
Well, we were basically in like a Cessna. I had made friends with the Icelandic civil aviation personnel. One was the mechanic of the aircraft, basically, and of the air traffic control systems within the tower. The other was actually a pilot, and he flew. And on the weekends, I would go visit them, and I was in civilian attire, not in my military thing, because they asked me not to. I did not know why until this incident took place. So we were putting in over the horizon radar stations on Ecuary, the island north of Iceland that belonged to them. And supposedly we were going to visit that site or overfly and take pictures. Well, much to my surprise, we continued on Civil Aviation Division for Iceland.
So let's be careful.
He may not still be alive, but he could be.
All right. So then what happened?
Well, we kept flying north. And of course, if you've know about the poles, they can be very cloudy. So we were in the clouds, and all of a sudden, we dropped into the clearing. And it was nice and bright, sunny, and the skies were blue. But off in the distance, you could still see what looked like a ball of light or sun type thing. And of course, I was kind of disoriented, but he kept talking to me and reassuring me that everything was okay. And then as we flew, it got greener instead of less ice than there was before. And as we flew further south, I saw, still on the edges of the permafrost and the greenery that was showing up, mastodons, alive, not skeletons, but mastodons. And saw some other things, I think they call muskox and all that went with that period. And then as we flew further south, I actually saw some dinosaurs. Brontosaurus comes to mind, a T-Rex, a Allosaurus, the one with the blades on its back, I believe. And I was just amazed. I mean, I was blown away because all my life I had kind of studied these things. And what brought it about was digressing to when I was in the 6th and 7th grade. I had a science teacher that shared a book with me called The Hollow Earth, which I had read. And I was always intrigued with that theory, that idea. So when I was in Iceland, I had brought this up with them during our visits together over the weekends, and sometimes on the professional side as well, but mostly on the weekends. And that's when he made the decision to show me that it was true. And
so
and then,
did he say he was taking you to the door to Inner Earth?
He did not. He surprised me.
Okay, so you just got into the plane. Where did you think you were going?
To Ecuary.
Okay.
Only.
Which is an island near Iceland?
North of Iceland.
Okay.
It belongs to him.
So did you?
We flew over.
You flew. So you kept going.
Yes.
Okay. It's so amazing. So did you were you scared at that point, or did you think
No, I'm really scared, nervous because I trusted him. I mean,
Right.
You've been around people, you can
Sure.
feel comfortable with or uncomfortable with.
So was it only two of you in the plane or more?
Yes, only two.
Okay. And what kind of plane was that?
More or less a Cessna, a Piper Cub, or something like that.
Okay. So you're not a pilot, I take
No,
it?
I'm not a pilot.
Okay. How long had you known this person?
Maybe 6, 7 months.
That's it?
I've been working with him.
Okay.
I only had a year of time period to be with him.
Can you tell us anything else you saw?
Well, I saw one thing that did surprise me was some silvery disc met us as we were flying in.
Oh, right.
I noticed them. I said, "What's going on?" in myself. And they escorted us to the place where we landed.
Wow.
And we got out, and he introduced me to these people. The females were 8 to 10 feet tall on average, and the males were 10, 12, maybe 14 foot tall. And that was more or less average. There was varying heights, but
Wow.
that was on average. And they greeted us, and I forget the name he called them because it was in Icelandic, which I wasn't very good at.
All right.
I barely can speak English, much some other foreign language. And so we proceeded and with introductions and everything, and they offered to feed us, and which they did, and they sat us down, and we had a nice little meal with them, but the plates were, because of their size, the plates were more or less the size of what we would call a good platter. But the
So
turkey,
show me with your hands like you did before.
probably about that,
All right.
whereas ours are, more or less.
Right. So what were they wearing, for example?
Very modest, because they didn't think anything of.
I mean, but were they wearing clothes like we wear?
I would say it's kind of like the closest analogy I could get was something like it's one-piece suit, kind of like Star Wars or Star Trek.
Okay.
You know how they had the one.
Right. And did these look human faces
Oh, yes,
and hair
human,
and all that?
Human, just bigger.
Just bigger.
Yes.
Okay.
They were blondish,
Okay.
by the way, kind of Nordic.
Okay. And was it male and female?
Yes.
And how many approximately, did you know?
Oh, I'd say started out with maybe a dozen or so that was interesting. Then by the time we sat down to eat, it was maybe 100.
Really?
Yes.
So you spent quite a bit of time there.
Yes, we spent a whole day. Well, actually 2, because it was on Saturday, and then when we came back, it was late into Sunday because I had to be back on duty on Monday.
So where did you sleep?
We didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
One thing, these people didn't age because of the sun, constant sun, no changes in the weather, basically.
Okay.
I mean, it rained,
Oh, yeah.
but not like, we have hot, cold seasons here, from what I understand.
In your surroundings, you saw the mastodons and such, and you said even dinosaurs.
Yes.
When you were in the air, I'm assuming, or on the ground?
In the air.
Okay. So when you were on the ground, were you in a base, a military base, or were you in what kind of place?
I assumed it was kind of like a airport or military base.
All right.
They don't have militaries per se like we do because there's no conflict with the inner earth.
Okay.
The only problem they have is with certain people from outside coming in,
Right.
which you can imagine
Sure.
from knowing our planet.
So the placement of this sort of opening at the time, and this is how many years ago, did you say?
1983 to 84.
Okay, so the pole has actually shifted since then.
Yes.
And so
Magnetic.
how far away is this from the North Pole as we know it right now?
Well, I understand from people I've talked to or listened to that it's more or less over somewhere in Canada. I think around Labrador or something like that.
Okay, so this is far to the right from where I'm standing, I guess. And then would you say that anything did you feel like you were in an altered state or anything like that?
No, ma'am.
No?
Hmm?
Okay, did they serve you anything like alcoholic?
No.
Okay. What did you drink then?
It was
Juice?
basically juice.
Okay.
I would say, if I recall correctly, so long ago, but more like mango. If you ever
Right.
had mango juice.
That makes sense. Okay, so the person who flew you in, was he in uniform?
No.
Oh,
We
he
were all
wasn't either.
No.
Okay,
They have no military in Iceland.
they don't.
They
But
don't.
isn't okay? So they weren't American.
No, they were not American.
Okay, and so he was not in uniform. He was flying you in is it a private plane?
Yeah, well, belonged to the Icelandic government.
All
But
right.
he was the Icelandic government.
So
Kind of
he
hard to
worked
make.
for the government, though.
Yes,
Okay. What was his position?
he was civil aviation administrator, or director, or whatever you want to call him.
Okay.
He was the honcho of
He was the head of it.
the head of it.
Now, in order to set this up, did you actually talk beforehand about, just in general terms, not saying he was saying you're going to go X, Y, Z, because he didn't tell you beforehand, right?
Right.
But had you talked in general before that about, did he know that you were interested in Inner Earth and all that?
Yes, because of, like I said, reading the book Hollow Earth,
Right,
and also, of course, you know the movie Journey to the Center of the Earth.
right.
I asked about that too, and it was both. He said they were both connected because they actually took me over to the volcano where they supposedly filmed Journey to the Center of the Earth and to the supposed one of the holes, because they're all over there, the tunnels that went down
Oh, right.
into the earth.
Okay. So, was there anything you can tell us about that civilization? Because you told me the women were, what is it, sort of 9 feet tall, and the men are
Well,
more
yeah.
like 12?
Yeah, on
Something
average,
like
yeah,
that?
on average, yes.
Okay. So, could you tell anything about their culture? Were they, what would you describe the culture as? Were they polite to each other? Were they,
Yes,
did they have a hierarchical
not really. Not from what I
structure?
understood.
Okay.
Nobody said this is King so and so or Princess so and so or none of that.
No. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And did you converse with them in Icelandic, these beings?
They were able, because of their interaction with people of the earth, they could speak multiple languages:
Okay, so they spoke
Russian, English,
English.
Scandinavian, of course, or whatever, Japanese,
Right.
Chinese.
Now, did you see you saw animals flying in? Did you see any animals around at the time on the ground?
Well, just like I said initially, mastodons, stuff like that from the Ice Age.
But I
we
mean,
call-
once you landed and were having dinner and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like
Oh,
that.
yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I saw some birds and things.
Okay. So what was the foliage like? Was it a jungle scene or a different kind of
I
thing?
would say that it was green everywhere.
Okay.
No, what I'd call seasonal changes, where it'd be, brown or gold or whatever.
So were they surprised that he brought you over there?
No, because he had done it before.
Okay.
He just was very. The agreement between them, from what I understood, was that only somebody they thought they could trust extremely well. And he told me later he felt comfortable with me the whole time, even up until the time I departed and headed back to America. We still remained friends and everything. And when one of them lived near one of the very active volcanoes in Iceland, and for years I stayed in touch with him. And when that volcano would get active, I check on him. And of course, one time it did, unfortunately, destroy his home, just like folks on Hawaii sometimes
Right.
get their homes destroyed because of the
Okay.
Big Island volcano.
So, we're not going to go much longer because we're under a time
Sure.
constraint here,
Sure.
but is there anything else you want to add? And then we can do this on a longer
Sure.
one if you're willing.
Sure, but that's pretty much it. Just a nutshell, give you as you say, the point blank or short version of it, Reader's Digest version.
Right.
For those that know what Reader's Digest.
Okay. So have you communicated this to anybody in the military, friends and
No,
colleagues?
ma'am. Only I tried telling some of my family members, but have you ever tried to counsel a teenager and they roll their eyes?
Yeah.
That's basically what I didn't want to hear.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, this is fascinating. I told you that Brooks Agnew wanted to take a scientific expedition up there, right, to Inner Earth. if you're going, like you're flying in and it's just land, right? It's an opening. Is it like a vortex or,
Well,
or a Stargate?
from what I was told by the gentleman that was flying, it's a hole, a physical hole, and you just have to know go out a certain point and start making the transition. If you don't, you'll run into the other side.
What other side?
Well, Russia or into the rim of the earth.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What's on the other side of that?
I don't know.
Okay, so
All I can say is it's like the surface. Imagine it's the surface of the earth is just a rim.
is it?
And they say it's several hundred miles wide. So
Okay,
it
so
wasn't like looking at the Grand Canyon or something like that where you see
right,
the difference.
you don't see the other wall.
Right.
You flew in, and was it cloudy until you got inside?
It was cloudy until we got clear of the transition between the two places.
So we're going to stop here. I want to thank you so much for your testimony.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you very much. And you're welcome to come and tell me more. And
Sure.
And we'll have you on the show. All right.
Sure.
And thank you again. It's quite an extraordinary story. I think it's
Well,
very important.
I felt so, but how many people want to hear what you have to say, like you talked about?
Right. Yeah.
They think you're crazy or
Yeah.
making stuff, and I have no reason to.
Right. Absolutely. Okay.
But there's no one that can vet it because I was the only one other than him. If they're still alive, they may be because they live a long time as it is. They'll get to 100 years or more.
Well, do you think the pilot was one of them?
No.
Oh, okay.
If he was, he didn't tell me.
Right.
He didn't share.
But he wasn't that tall anyway, right?
No, he was average.
Okay.
He's actually shorter than me.
Okay. Fascinating. Okay, well, let's not talk too much about him so
Sure,
we
I
can
know.
protect his
Sure.
identity. But thank you again.
Sure.
Okay. And
It's so nice to finally meet you and after listening to you all these years.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.